Now, let's get realistic. Most of you guys don't design in nice straight rectangles or squares. Most landscape designers do very organic designs, which wreak havoc on spray head layout. So we rarely, unless we're working on a very modern architecture design project, most things are free flowing. So we get designs that look like this or other designs. And so where we start out is one thing that I do like with AutoCAD, they have this 2-point circle. So it allows me to exactly get the diameter across correct. And so we have this first one, which is a 12-foot radius. And then let's do a 2-point around here. And we had a little overlap there, but let's bring that in to this corner. Now try and center it some. And so you can see we don't truly have head-to-head coming back, but that's fine. When we have varying radiuses, typically the general consensus for irrigation design is just to have the smallest head be placed at the furthest head's radius. As a general rule. So this is, even though it's not typically is not reaching back to the head, this would still be, as long as the head's placed at the end of the larger radius, that would be considered head-to-head design. Next, we're going to keep going with our centers. And that was about 6 foot, just 6 foot. And then also appears to be 6 foot. So as you can see, these are the same radius, so they touch head to head. This is a 10 foot, but again, because this is the smallest radius, as long as it's at or inside the larger 10-foot radius, as we have head-to-head spacing. So now I know we have a 6 foot, a 6 foot, a 10 foot, and a 12 foot. So what I want to start doing is, now that I know my interior to then match head-to-head, is then I'm going to work my way around with the matching radius on the outside. And I'm going to just start my points, and I might have to shift my heads along the way, but we'll see. So right where the one ends, we're picking back up. And this is 10 foot. So here, I'm not quite back, so I need to come in. This is kind of in between area, so if you needed to, you could be anywhere at that 10 to 12 foot. That might be beneficial later. Here on this inside curve, I'm almost getting into this 12-foot zone, so I'm going to make this a 12-foot head. Go right. 12 foot, 12 foot, 12 foot. Oh, I'm a little shy. I can bump this up to a 12 foot. And now everything is head to head, as you can see. So I can come in here, and with my 6 foots, do I put a 5 or an 8? Well, we can only turn down the head, so the 8 will go to a 6-foot radius. Is it 10? Tens. And this is going to go to eights. And that would complete my design. Now we have another organic design layout. And so I'm going to start grabbing my circles here. This over. And this is about 20 feet. So no longer in spray head territory. We're now in rotators. So again, things don't always work out perfect. So we want to equally space them. So we're going to shift these back a little. Maybe make this a little smaller. Shift this over. Shift this over. And now we got a little overlap on each one of them. They're pretty equally spaced. And then we got around 20 feet, around 18 feet, 18 feet, 18 feet, and 20 foot. So I'm going to go to my rotor tab, and that range would be these rotors right here. So I'm going to just start with the outsides, work my way around. And one of my thing is, because I already have it all centered, you'll see that as long as I'm working on the 20s, I'm going to keep that the same because I don't have to adjust my compass or my AutoCAD radius setting. And then as I drop down to the other radiuses, then that's when I'll move across to that. So for 18 feet. Make sure it's hitting the center of the head. Ooh, we're just a little shy. So I bumped that up to 20 foot. That's 20 foot. So in this instant, I'm just going to make this guy a little bigger. Make sure it hits head to head. And there you have it. So then I can just take put my full heads in. And there you have it. As you can see too, is the sprinkler heads, they just naturally take the layout design. So you can see we have this curve. These center heads, because they're equally spaced, also has this gentle curve, and that's what you want to see. And you want to see the equal spacing. If all of a sudden you see something like this, where you have a short distance and a long distance in a pretty uniform spacing, that's also should give you a red flag. Again, you can kind of see here's these flower petals. It's not perfect, but you can see that we're getting pretty good coverage here.